Before we get into this episode, Mike and I want to thank you for being part of this community. We absolutely love what we do with this podcast, and we think it's important to bring you valuable content by exploring unconventional lifestyles, experiences, and perspectives. We are continually looking to improve the listening experience, and we want to bring in some of your favorite guests. We have a favor to ask, and that is if you can follow wherever you watch or listen so we can continue improving the show. We are so grateful for your support. Now let's get into it.
What's up, locals? We are sitting here with Shameless Shayne Hertwig. You are an amateur fighter, fighting out of Elevated Martial Arts out in Truckee. You're a Reno Local, and you're 21.
Yep. I didn't always live in Reno. I grew up in San Jose and moved here when I was about 15 years old and hated it at first, honestly. I really did not like this place.
Yeah, there's a love-hate relationship with Reno for sure.
I have warmed up to it quite a bit. Now I'm okay with it enough to stay here for a short period of time, and then I have to leave the country every once in a while, but
not to go crazy.
Yeah, not to go insane.
Yeah. I want to ask you, what made you choose Shameless?
Well, when I was in Thailand, I had my buddy out there. He's from Ireland, actually, and he brought it up one time. He's like, dude, you are shameless. Like, you do not care about what you say. Like, you're just out of the box. And it stuck with me. He started calling me Shameless because he was like, dude, that is your fight name. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it definitely sticks with me. And it's a weird thing too, because before I went to Thailand, I had a feeling that I was going to get my fighting name out there.
Really?
And then like before, I just had it in my mind. I'm like something is going to happen, and you're going to receive it out there. And then what do you know, I meet some Irish dude, and he's like, yeah, you're Shameless. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a cool name. It kind of fits with Shayne too. So
do fighters usually pick their own names, or are they bestowed upon them? Like,
I feel like some guys definitely pick their own names, but other people will definitely have them given to them by other people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my friends in Reno call me Shiesty, but I was like, yeah, that's kind of a negative connotation to that name, so I'd rather go by Shameless. I mean, Shameless is pretty cool, so.
Yeah. I love it. That's awesome. So you said that you grew up in San Jose. I grew up in the Bay Area as well. I'm from San Ramon, like the East Bay area. Yeah. So what was that like growing up there versus Reno? Because obviously it's two different places to grow up.
When I grew up in San Jose, I was a white kid, like I was the white kid that hung out with predominantly Hispanics, a lot of Mexicans. Yeah. And then I moved to Spanish Springs, actually, so not even Reno. And Spanish Springs is like all white. I was the only white.
It probably was a trip.
Yeah, it was, definitely. So, I went from being the only white kid to, that was the only thing around me. So, it was just completely different, a different way of living. Mm-hmm. And, I had to get used to it at first. I was like, what am I doing in this place? I don't know. I naturally gravitated towards Hispanics when I first moved to Spanish Springs, actually. My first group of friends they were all Mexican, Salvadorian and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, I became friends with the white boys. So that's where I'm at now.
Oh, my God.
Is there a link between that and fighting for you?
What do you mean by that?
So growing up in San Jose, you're the only white kid in your group, right? Yeah. Do you feel like you had to kind of defend yourself a little bit and maybe got a little chippy because of it, or what?
Definitely at times, especially because I played soccer. Mm-hmm. I got into some scraps on the field sometimes, people would be calling me names in Spanish, and I'm like, I didn't fuck with that at all. I was like, all right, we're fighting now, dude. I stood up for one of my friends when it was my third week of freshman year, and we're walking in the hallway and he gets pushed, and I was like, what the fuck? If you're going to go after somebody, go after me, bro. And this dude was 6 foot something, and then he was just he was a little softy, but he thought he was tough. And I texted him on social media. He was like, I told him to meet up somewhere. He didn't show up. So the next day at school, I just threw my backpack off and I just started swinging on him in front of all of his friends.
No
just
way.
Yeah, just on site. Like I was like, yeah, if you're not going to meet me, I'm just going to come to you, and this is how we're going to handle it.
I like it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
After that, he didn't fuck with anybody though. So
Yeah. Oh, so it sounds like even at a younger. Oh, Maverick.
Maverick. You want to be a part of it.
It seems like even at a younger age, you like had that fight instinct in you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I always had like a little fire in me.
Yeah.
I always thought fighting was fun, but as I got older, I just like I don't know. I don't even want to fight anybody outside of the gym now. Like it's just like something I will avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, you got smarter. You probably
yeah.
got into more scraps, and you're like, oh, I like doing this like professionally.
Yeah,
That's what I wanna
exactly.
do.
Yeah, like I like doing this against skilled opponents, people at the gym. Like it's like I don't know. It's more of a challenge too. If you just go fight some random dude off the street and he doesn't know what he's doing, it's not really fair. I mean.
Plus, you can also like go to jail.
Yeah, you could go to jail, like their head slammed on the concrete or something, and
game.
it's
And
years
then it'd be over.
Yeah, it's over. That's your career. Boom, done. Yeah, I was always aggressive. Like I think soccer was a very bad sport for me because like I was good at it, but I would just get pissed off, and then I was so dirty. Like I would be like wanting to just mess people up all over the field. Broke this kid's wrist. Like me, it was like a joint effort. It was actually a joint effort. Me and my friend, I'm still pretty close to him. His name's Sergio. We like basically sandwiched this dude. Like I ran at him from the right, he ran at him from the left, and he did like a full like 360 spin in the air, landed on his wrist, and it just snapped. And in the moment, I was just like, fuck, that was kind of messed up. Like the kid was a little douchebag, he was a little prick, but he didn't deserve to have his wrist broken.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So tell me about growing up and like what led you to fighting.
Like I was always very interested in MMA. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of the sport, especially because I had a obsession with soccer. But I always liked like Anderson Silva, the Diaz brothers, GSP, Chuck Liddell, all those type of guys. And yeah, I started wrestling in 8th grade in middle school, and then I didn't wrestle freshman year because I was still living in San Jose and I wanted to play soccer. And after I moved to Reno, I wasn't able to play soccer because my grades were so bad. When I lived in San Jose and they transferred over, my transcripts were all just not good. And yeah, I just started wrestling because it was the next season after that my grades were good enough to wrestle. And yeah, one of my best friends actually, his name, you know Keegan pretty well. He was like, dude, you need to come join the wrestling team. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I already wrestled before, so why not do it? And then I got into it at Spanish Springs, and it was a really good wrestling program there. Like we were one of the top programs in the whole entire state. The room was just filled with savages. Like I was definitely on the lower part of the totem pole. And that just forced me to be hungry, though. Honestly, like I was in there every day, and I was like, you know what? I want to be like, as good as some of these dudes. You know, like they're probably always going to be a step above me in the wrestling world. And yeah, I loved combat sports. And after senior year, I wasn't able to wrestle again because of grades. I didn't do too well in school, honestly, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, just not your strong suit.
It was just not my strong suit. I didn't like people telling me what to do and be like, oh, you need to do this. Like, oh, go fit in a box somewhere. And yeah, I was just always wanting to do my own thing. And I talked to a lot of people, and they were like, dude, why don't you get into MMA? Like, one of my friends, his name's Corbin, he's in the Marines. He told me a year before I actually started training to get into MMA, he's like, dude, I think you would love it. Like, he just like saw it in me. And I tried training. I think the first time was in February of 2020, so I was a senior in high school then. And yeah, I just fell in love with it. I started training Muay Thai, and I was like, yeah, this is for me. I love just like kicking and punching things, and then the grappling aspect too. Like I got into jiu-jitsu a little bit after, and I did not like jiu-jitsu at first, honestly. Like I was like, oh, I'd rather be on my feet just punching people in the face. And then
that's so interesting.
like, yeah,
like because you do mixed martial arts, so it's a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of fighting. Like, is there, that would be Muay Thai, right? Like, that's,
Is that your primary style?
Now I love everything. Like now I just want to be like just well versed in everything. Like I want to be an extremely good grappler, and I also want to be a savage on my feet, so I can knock people out. Like,
yeah.
and especially coming out of a jiu-jitsu gym, like I feel like a lot of people that I'm going to end up fighting are gonna be like, oh, he's just gonna be like a crotch sniffer, you know, like he likes to take people down and just hug them, and it's like, oh, they're gonna have a rude awakening when they try to take me down and I don't go down to the ground and we're just fighting on the feet. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched you fight. We watched you at King of the Cage.
Yeah, that was.
You're stuffing takedowns.
Yeah.
You're taking a lot of big shots.
Yeah, I mean,
You're giving them out too. Like,
yeah.
you have no problem being on the feet, but you are a very good grappler too.
Yeah.
You have a
Very
fucking
much,
dog
yeah.
in you.
I appreciate
Like,
that.
I don't know. I trained with you last week, and you kicked my ass, and so that was rough.
Dude, it was like, sorry, my voice just cracked so bad. You know, it was like so, because like, dude, I remember like we used to grapple and you would kind of put it on me. I'm not gonna lie. Like you would
like what, 70 pounds on you?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay,
You would like
I
put
should.
me in leg entanglements, and I would just be like, okay, like if this was a real competition, a real fight, he would be snapping my leg off or like choking me out, and then it's just like, I don't know, like.
Not anymore. Not anymore. You take my fucking back and strangle me.
Dude, it's all I do. It's all I do now. It's like I train like 5 days a week, 6 days a week now. So it's like it's just a lot of jiu-jitsu, and yeah, I haven't been striking as much, but my jiu-jitsu has gone through the roof recently. A lot of people at my gym are telling me that. They're like, dude, I can't wait to see you compete in MMA again, especially. And yeah, I'm actually competing in grappling industries next week, so I'm pretty excited for that.
So that's on Saturday, right?
Yeah, next Saturday.
Be there.
Yep, you'll be there?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I won't be competing. I'll be out there like holding up a Shayne sign. So,
Shameless Shayne.
You have some people from your gym probably competing too.
yeah, definitely. What are you thinking when it comes to taking your next fight? Do you have a timeline on that? Or are you taking some time off in between to train more?
I mean, I talked to Adam. You know Adam pretty well, and he wanted me to take a break off from fighting just because I don't know. I was not in the best state of mind in my last fight. Like I feel like I could have performed at a way higher level. Everything kind of just went black. You know, sometimes your adrenaline takes over.
I just see red, bro.
Yeah, I just see red. No, really, that's how it is. Sometimes you just like everything just blacks out. You can't hear your coach. You can't hear your corner, which is horrible. Like in fighting, you want to be able to still listen to your corner because they're giving you advice on what you should be doing. And yeah, I was just completely blacked out, and I just went to my instincts, which was wrestling, grappling, and
You did a great job. You kept taking him down. Just
yeah,
dude. Get to the feet.
I don't know how many takedowns I got in that fight, man. But yeah, I feel like I should have stood up on my feet a little bit more and had the fight there. But honestly, I think my next fight will definitely be when I go out to Thailand. Like I'm wanting to do either a traditional Muay Thai fight out there because I feel like that'd be really good, just experience, and then or maybe an amateur MMA fight out there. I mean, the grappling out there is really not the best. I mean, even in Europe, you know, like there's so like don't get me wrong, there's savages all over the world, but I realize like the levels between grappling in the United States or grappling in Brazil, you know, compared to Europe or Asia, it's like it's not the same level.
Yeah, unless you go into like Siberia and you get all the Mongol guys and the fucking Dagestanis.
Yeah, the
and those guys.
Daghestanis, yeah.
That's a different level.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
a
like
different-
corn-fed wrestling boys.
Yeah.
And so
And even
with-
their jiu-jitsu is like
yeah, they just take you and
they just take you
to
down
the
and
ground.
smash you.
Yep, it's a different style.
Yeah.
Do you think that in Thailand you're going to fight a lot more, or is it going to be predominantly Muay Thai? Is it going to be a lot of jiu-jitsu with it?
Well, I definitely don't want to lose my jiu-jitsu, especially after like just hammering it down since
You've gotten so dialed in 6 months,
Yeah.
specifically, like from August to now.
Yeah, it's honestly insane. Like my last fight was actually in August, and after that, I just had in my head, I'm like, okay, I need to get really good at this jiu-jitsu stuff, and then I'll go back to Thailand and I'll start dialing in my striking. And
Are you going to Tiger or where?
I went to Tiger last time, and it's very commercialized. You know, it's like there's a lot of people. You'll see a new person every single day, like hundreds of new people every day. It's the biggest fighting gym in the whole world.
Yeah, it's
actually
like all over social media too. I see it on Instagram.
Dude,
it's like,
there's almost like 1 million followers on Instagram or something like that. I actually stayed at the gym for my first month last time,
Lived there?
Yeah, I lived at the gym, so.
Okay, hold on. Take us through that. What's the living arrangements like at a fucking Muay Thai gym?
It was
Ringworm
cool.
everywhere.
Oh man, it was disgusting. His staff is even
No.
and staff is I'll talk about that staph infection later. I almost lost my leg, but
Oh, jeez.
Shit.
yeah, living at the gym was a very cool experience because you'd wake up and then the mats are right there. Like you can go train Muay Thai, you can go train jiu-jitsu, you go to the fitness area and do like they had some crazy like fitness classes too. But the thing I did not like about it is like sometimes I wanted to sleep in a little bit and they had this fitness class 7 a.m. every day and you just hear DMX barking your arr, 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 and I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to sleep. I guess I'm up now. But
No way.
yeah, it was like it did not matter. Like I could have tried to sleep through it and it was not going to happen. Like the speakers were so loud and my gym was my room was right next to the fitness area, so I woke up.
Backs up right to it, so you're hearing
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. That's sick. So
Yeah.
what did that cost you to go to the gym, train every day, live there? Because you were there for what, a month?
Last time I was there for like almost 2 months.
Damn, that's a long time. And Thailand's allegedly cheap, but I imagine.
Yeah, it is pretty cheap. Honestly, I think the training was the most expensive part of everything. The food is cheap, accommodation, like places to stay, were pretty cheap. Traveling around is cheap, especially like if you rent out your own moped. I recommend actually going out there. Like being in a relationship and going to Thailand would be so dope. It's like
Romantic?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. If I had
go to
a
Bali, I don't know if we're going to Tiger Muay Thai.
Bali would be cool. There's a really good gym there too. Bali MMA, they have good everything. It's really cheap to travel around, and there's so much to see. Like you can island hop for like I went on a cruise for like $50. And it
Oh,
was, like,
wow.
all day. Like you go to multiple islands, drinks, food, like a buffet was included.
Yeah, no, that
Cool.
sounds amazing.
But yeah, the training was probably. Sorry, I just got sidetracked.
No,
good.
I love learning about new places too.
Yeah,
Like I
you
want to
sh-
know.
We're trying to travel.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I can show you guys some videos and stuff after. Like, if I had a girl, I would love to take her out to Thailand. I think I'm not going to lie. Like, I'll
Hear
just
that, ladies?
Hey, you could also find a nice lady boy there.
No, honestly, yeah, I get that so much. That, like, all the people in my gym, people at work, they're like, oh, you're just going to Thailand to go on a ladyboy adventure. I'm like, really, bro? Come on. How many times have I heard that now? Probably over 100 times. And
Yeah.
it's okay. You know, I'm a ladyboy lover. I don't discriminate. I'm just kidding.
What would be the ideal date with that girl that you would go to Thailand? Like, what would you do for the day?
Honestly, like, put it on the back of my moped, just go on a crazy adventure. You know, like there's so much to see. You can go right up to a Buddhist temple for the day, and it's just like a very, I don't know, it's a real experience. You know, it's a very spiritual experience. Like it's nothing like I don't even know how to explain it. And I don't know, going to a nice cafe, a nice place to eat, going to the beach because especially in Phuket, you're like 10 minutes away on a bike from the beach, pretty much anywhere you are on that. It's not an island, but it almost feels like island life.
Yeah.
You get massages for so cheap. Like you do like all of that stuff.
Just sounds like you would have like a action-packed day.
Yeah,
Full of
definitely.
And so
Yeah,
you
lady
traveled
boy
there last year,
massages.
right?
You go see monkeys too. Like you go, like I would love to take a girl to go feed monkeys and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
they're kind of scary at first.
I know, they're like little humans. They'll rob you.
I saw a monkey like straight up rip an earring off of this lady. She was taking a picture, and this
No.
monkey came up on the rail and just ripped it off, and she just started screaming. I was like, "Oh well, you should have been."
And that
more
was in
aware."
Thailand?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Go to Thailand?
Yeah, not after that experience.
You just have to be careful with them. Honestly, like they're.
So when you went to Thailand the first time, you were 20, right?
I was 21 actually.
20 you were still 21? Okay.
just turned 21. Yeah, and this next time I'm going out, I will turn 22 the week after I leave the
Nice.
United States. So
Hell
I'll
yeah.
turn 22 out there.
So how'd you afford that the first time around? Just working?
Just working, saving up money. If you want to be honest with you, I was supposed to come back at a way earlier time than I did. I was supposed to only stay like a month. And then it comes to the day of my flight, and I'm talking to all my friends I made there. You know, a lot of them are from Europe, England, Ireland, Canada. I mean, Canada's not Europe, but like just people from all over the world,
Canada.
Australia. And they were like, dude, why don't you just stay? And I was like, fuck it. I'll stay a little longer, even though I did not have the funds to stay longer. If it would have been a smarter decision to just go home when I was supposed to, because I wouldn't have ran out of money. I ran out of money when I was actually down there, and I felt like I was stranded. Adam actually sent me money to come back home,
So you could get back to the
so
States.
I could get back to the States. Yeah, and I got back, and I gave him the split board that I had, which is worth like, I don't know, like $500 or something like that. And that was like kind of my collateral for him getting me back to the United States.
Oh, he
That's
doesn't
so
kneecap
funny.
you for $500.
He was so mad. Adam
I remember him being like, Shayne is fucking stuck in Thailand right now.
Yeah,
This is bullshit.
he called me on the phone and he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why aren't you back home yet? And I'm like, I wanted to stay out here. I thought I could make my way somehow, just training and taking fights. And you don't get paid you don't get paid a lot for fights, especially when you're fighting at a low level down there. So
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was thinking.
They also have a bunch of savages out there, so you're getting paid next to nothing to fight.
Yeah, to get your head split open.
Yeah, literally like guys that just crack off on people's heads daily. Have you been knocked out before?
Yeah, I actually got knocked out in my first kickboxing fight. So most people when they're transitioning into MMA or transitioning into kickboxing, Muay Thai, will take like a low contact fight first, like with headgear and shin guards and big gloves and everything. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna send it. I just always kind of had that mentality with. Oh, sorry for that burp, but everything that I've done, and I actually had a shoulder surgery when I was 19, like right, I was like freshly 19, and I got recovered from that, and then I got back into training, and I told Adam the first time I was back in the gym, I was like, dude, I need to take a fight, like a real fight, like I need to go.
You got to test it out and actually see how it feels.
Test the waters,
Yeah.
and I go out, and my first fight was in South Lake Tahoe. Was at Harrah's at the time. I don't even know if it's still called Harrah's. I think so.
I have no idea. I think they switched it. It used to be Harrah's. Now it's like Bally's or something.
Bally's, yeah. I think that, yeah. It was a cool venue and everything. Really cool experience for my first fight. Had a lot of friends, had a lot of family that showed up, and it was just a dog fight. Like I was just throwing hands the whole time. It did not look technical at all. I was just like swinging like that and just throwing my kicks out, and then. It was the third round, and I am just gassed. Like, I don't know, the adrenaline dump was crazy. It was my first fight. All these people were watching me, and I was just gassed out. And there's probably 40 seconds left in the fight, and I just threw a wild haymaker. Like I was trying to get him out of there in the last round. Like I was just like, okay, like I don't have anything left in me. I'm just going to try to put him out. And I swing, and then I'm like this, like I swing down. And both my hands are down like by my leg, and he just kicks me in the jaw, and I just
Lights out.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch if you want. Yeah. Now I look at it, I'm like, it's kind of funny to me. I'm just like, dang, my motionless body just like hit the ground. I got up pretty
Starched from the moment that it connected, or was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, definitely. Like I got up pretty quickly after that. Like I was definitely out, and then I got up like 2-3 seconds later, and I was just and that feeling was horrible. Like I was trying to walk to that dude's corner, not my corner.
Yep.
And I was like, the world was spinning. Like it was like, it was bad. But honestly, I was so glad or so thankful for that experience, especially to have it while I was young, because it's like, okay, you have a loss like that pretty early on. You know, a lot of people, they just like go through and they just start tearing things up when they're young, and then they have that loss that just fucks up their mind. You know.
Yeah, I feel like that can be poisonous.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely. I mean, like fighting is very hard on your mental state. You know, like for months afterwards, I was like, do I even want to still do this? Like, do I still want to fight? It's like my first fight. I'm already doubting myself.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to get over it. But then I was like, you know what? I'm young. That dude was like 27 years old. Like he was definitely more built than I was, you know.
Probably had more experience.
Yeah,
too.
he was probably definitely more experienced, and it showed. Like he looked a lot more experienced than me. And
so, how do you come back from something like that? Because that is scary. It shakes you up, and you're like, I just got flatlined. What happened?
It definitely was scary. I don't know. Like you just have to be. your own best supporter at the end of the day. You know, like you can have all these people supporting you, telling you, oh, you're killing it, you're doing such a good job. At the end of the day, it's like how you view yourself. Like how do you look at yourself when you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror? You have to almost motivate yourself every day. Like most days, I mean not most days. There's a lot of days where I do not want to train. I did not want to be in the gym, and I just forced myself to be in there, and it's always a better outcome than if I ended up skipping.
I've never had a day that I've regretted going to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you never regret a day.
You might have a bad time there. You might get your ass kicked.
Yeah, you might get rolled up and just not have the best time. You know, you're getting smashed by people that usually wouldn't do that against you. You know that too. There's like, I don't know. It's so weird because it really comes down to how you're feeling on that certain day. You know, like if you're feeling like you're at the top of the world and you're very confident in yourself, like you can definitely see that translate to your training. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
I am not consistent at all with training right now, so I can't even speak to it. Dude. I'm out here trying to do this comedy thing on the side. I'm having fun with it.
Dude, that was funny. I saw it the other day. I was like, dude, you have a knack for that for sure. Like
it's fun. It's
keep doing
similar
that
to jiu-jitsu because you fail so many times before you get something right, and then you find a little thing that works, and you're like, oh, okay, I can get sharper at this. And so it's just getting reps out. But I'm trying to get like 3 days in on stand-up, 3 days in on jiu-jitsu, and then 3 days in the gym. And so just trying to do that.
That's a solid routine, man. That's a lot. That's a lot to be doing.
Well, it sucks because stand-up's at the same time as classes, unless I get up at like 5:30 in the morning and go to morning class. And I am just such a bitch about that.
Where do you do that at?
For morning class or stand-up?
No, the stand-up.
Oh, geez. So there's 4 or 5 different rooms. There's Packs and Pints on Mondays. There's Shanty Dolan's on Thursdays. Coffee and Comics on Tuesdays. Shout out to Molman. And then I forget on Wednesdays. I think it's at Arch Society. Now there's like a bunch of different spots that do it, and it's all around like 6:30, 7 p.m.
I should come definitely see you before I leave the country for 4 months.
When do you leave?
I'm leaving March 21st, and then I
so you
won't
have some time.
Yeah, I won't be back until July 22nd. So like literally 4 months.
That's a long ass time, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
So, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah. We're interrupting this interruption with a very important request. If you like what you're hearing, drop us a like and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out. Now let's get back to the show.
I was stalking your Instagram and I saw a couple different interviews that you had done, and you had talked about growing up Mormon.
Yo, yeah,
and
let's talk about
that to me is so interesting because my mom, my aunt, my uncle, like they all grew up Mormon. My grandma's Mormon.
And she's the only one that's still Mormon.
Yeah, she is the only one that's still Mormon. But I'm just more interested because there is a lot of like rigidness to that religion. Like there's no drinking like whatsoever.
Nothing. Yeah.
Obviously like no drugs or anything. I'm not saying that other religions have that, but
no coffee.
It's just no coffee. Like there's no stimulants. It's just interesting that you grew up with that. I'm sure that your parents are they still practicing?
No, actually no.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, they got divorced, so that just kind of fizzled out.
Oh, okay.
Like, I guess we're done with this.
Yeah, I guess we're done with this religion now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So bring me through that growing up, because I feel like
were you part of like the Mormon Boy Scouts and stuff like that?
I was actually. Yeah. That was so weird. Honestly, it's so weird. Like I look back on it, I'm like, I wish that.
Yeah. So bring us through that, because it's interesting that you're doing fighting and
it's
just very contradictory.
Worlds completely. I mean, fighters are, they're fighters. They don't
crazy
care.
people.
They're crazy. They're kind of insane. Yeah, I love all my fighting friends, but we're all a little fucked in the head.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it takes to be a good fighter.
Yeah, I mean, growing up Mormon was very weird. I basically stopped going to church when I was 15, but before that I was in Boy Scouts. I was at church pretty much every Sunday. Even though I didn't want to be there, I really despised being in church. And it's like, I think church is a good thing for people at the end of the day. It's like finding yourself or having that relationship with whatever you believe in is a good thing. But they're very judgmental, extremely judgmental. You cannot really you can have tattoos and join the church, but they're going to look at you different. You like even having piercings and stuff, like they will look at you completely different. was forced to go every Sunday. I would try to play the sick card all the time. Church was 3 hours long, and it's like when you're young, you don't want to be sitting down for 3 hours every Sunday.
Yeah.
Just listening to people talk and telling you what you can and can't do. I think it made me rebellious. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was about
like,
to say, like, I did that at all influence
Oh yeah,
you
100%.
to fight?
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Really?
it influenced me to do a lot of negative things also. I was just like, I was like, you know what? They're telling me not to do that. Now I want to go out and try it.
Yeah.
And then when I tried it, I'm like, oh, wow, this is...
It's not what they say
Yeah.
that it is in church.
Did
Yeah.
you feel pretty sheltered growing up in like the Mormon religion and then coming out of it into Reno? Because that's a night and day difference.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you, like, I was a pretty decent kid when I grew up in San Jose. Like, I was just... a soccer fanatic. Like, that's all I did. I used to just train by myself all the time. I used to just like practice by myself because I didn't really have too many people that wanted to kick a ball around with me. Everybody was into a different sport. Sorry, what was the question? I just
You're good.
That's okay.
I was asking, like, do you think that coming from being Mormon and then all of a sudden parents split up, you moved to Reno.
Yeah.
Like, that's a night and day difference.
Yeah,
you go from being
definitely.
sheltered to like,
Yeah.
you got gambling and prostitution and
Yeah, definitely.
24-hour drinking. Like, there's so much going on here.
A lot of crack.
Yep.
Yeah. a lot of stuff. I tried so many different drugs when I moved to Reno. I started drinking. I started like smoking pretty heavily. I just did everything. Talk about sex. We could talk about sex.
Yeah.
You can talk
I
about
lost my
anything.
virginity. Like, bro, everything. Basically, that everything that the church told me not to do, I went out and did as soon as I moved to Reno. Like I said, I started hanging out with these Hispanic kids, and they were all so good at first. Like, we didn't do like anything like that. And then I started wrestling. Started hanging out with a lot of the people that I still call friends to this day. We're not like, some of us aren't as close, but like Keegan, I'm very close with still. My boy Jaden, like, I am very close with still. Corbin, and like some other people. But yeah, I just went off the rails. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. 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 And then I just sunk into a pit. Like, I was just lost. Like, I didn't know what reality was, and
Got real slippery.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good way to put it. My life definitely changed when I moved to Reno.
Well, it's interesting.
Life experience.
Well, it's interesting, like, you talk about doing all of that stuff because now you're not doing any of that stuff. And is that because I know that Jordan, started the Crow's Nest Ranch, and like, are you part of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love Jordan. That guy he's fucking awesome. He's a dickwad. At the end of the day,
Bad motherfucker.
He's a
all
bad
across the
motherfucker,
board.
but dude, he's a dickwad. But he, like, when he loves somebody, like, like,
Yeah.
you just know that, like, he's done so much for me, like, in the gym, outside of the gym. When he leaves his house in Truckee, like, him and his family, he always offers me to stay out there because he knows I have to drive from Reno to Truckee every day. And he's like, "Yo, you can stay at my house. Like, you just
that's
just
super
watch
sweet.
over." Yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, I'm definitely helping out with the Crow's Nest. I'm very excited about that, actually. When I get back from Thailand, it's going to be opening up in July, and all I have to do is stay sober, and I'll have a position there, managing the house. I'll have a room there, so.
Hell yeah. So
He's
you
like,
don't have to commute back.
Yeah, I don't have to
anymore.
commute back all the time, and he's doing wonders for me. Like, I appreciate that, and he's always telling me, he's like, "You're the one putting in the work, but I will help you out along the way." And because he just saw, like, from an outside perspective, he like saw the path I was going down, because he's talked about it with you guys. Like, he went down a pretty crazy dark path, and he's a completely different person now than he was like 2 years ago. I look up to him a lot. Like, that guy is a big inspiration of mine. I'm glad he's part of my life. Definitely would not be where I am without him. There's a lot of other people I could say that about too. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to start working with him on the Crow's Nest and help people. Just, I don't know, give them hope. That's something I'm very big on. Like, I want to give people hope that they don't have to use all these substances to feel okay all the time. Just, I don't know, be a light in their lives almost. I know it sounds crazy saying that like 21. I'll be 22.
It sounds crazy at all because it's very unique to be 21 and be like, I'm going to choose sobriety.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
and it's
unconventional
not
as
even
fuck.
yeah, it's not even that you're choosing it because you were addicted to it. It's more just like you're choosing it for like the better health of yourself.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
for your goals.
I mean, I do have like a very, very addictive personality, and that's why I also chose to go sober, because I knew like if I was to get into things, I would just go down that path. But yeah, I definitely chose to be sober for the better quality of life. And yeah, Jordan was the main person in my ear telling me like, yo, you need to, if you want to take this fighting stuff seriously, I think you should definitely think about going down this path. And he was right. He was completely right. And
I feel like the drugs and the alcohol, it's an obstacle towards your goal.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you
It just makes your life harder.
Yeah.
It just makes your life harder, especially when you're doing something physical all the time. Like you should, like, I remember showing up to the gym like hungover and just like getting off the mat, just like just yakking. I was like, oh, this is not fun. Or like being stoned like every training session. I was pretty like, when I used to train with you, I was stoned pretty much every training session. Like,
oh wow.
and I would just be like, what's going on? You know, what's going on?
Wait, what are we doing again?
Yeah, what are we doing? Like, what move are we learning right now? What submission? What position? Whatever. And now since I've stopped all that, I just realized like my own potential. Honestly, for a long time, I was just like, I was just staying very stagnant. I wasn't really going anywhere. And then as I got sober, kind of translated with my performance, which is kind of a crazy thing to look at. I'm just more there, honestly.
More present.
Yeah, more cognitive.
Yeah.
Able to think. And
do you think that sobriety is less about addiction for you and more about just trying to push towards your goals? Like, it seems more like you're an obsessive person. You obsess about fighting. You obsess about being in the gym.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can obsess about drugs too if that was your choice.
Yeah, 100%. Very, very much so obsessive. That's probably why I don't have a girlfriend at the moment. I just obsess. Like, I'm like, oh my, but
Oh my.
But yeah, that's definitely a good way to put it. It was definitely getting away in my obsession for fighting. And I feel like to be really good at something, you have to be obsessed with it. You have to like drown yourself with it completely, you have to be surrounded by it all the time. You have to be looking at ways to improve yourself to be the best version of yourself so that you can perform at the highest levels.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like that mindset that you have is actually very rare for your age. And do you notice that amongst your peers?
Definitely.
Like, is that
Definitely.
something where you're like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Why don't you have this? Like,
Yeah.
where do you think that mindset comes from?
I don't know. I think I've been driven since I was young, but there's been obstacles in the way, like family, like drugs, alcohol. Like, there's been a lot of different obstacles. But I've always had that drive within me, especially with athletics, with sports. I was just always wanting to be very good at something athletically. Like, I want to be a professional soccer player for the longest time. And then I kind of threw that away with school and grades and stuff because I didn't care about it. But,
Yeah.
I think you found something that aligns way more with your personality.
Oh, definitely, 100%. Like, I still love soccer. I still watch it every once in a while. It's a great sport. It's the most popular sport in the world, honestly.
With your goal with fighting, are you trying to go pro?
Oh yeah.
You want a UFC contract?
Yeah.
You want to be in the PFL? What's your vision for it?
I would love to be in the UFC. I would love to be in PFL. One championship would be cool because it's in Asia. It's cool to live out there. I want to be fighting professionally for money someday that I could that's all I do. I want to be able to train myself and actually coach others. Like, I got into coaching recently too, and I love it. Like, I love seeing people progress and grow within the sport. I just want my life to be around martial arts. So Yeah, that's also another reason why I'm excited about the Crow's Nest opening up, because a big thing that we're going to be doing is having everybody that's staying at the house training in the gym with us. So
Totally.
yeah, they're
It's
going
a
to.
community.
Yeah, it's a community, and
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, you get so close with everybody you train with. Like they become your brothers and sisters. You know, like when women show up.
It's a cult. It's a different type of cult.
It is a cult. You know, it's a good cult though. You know, like you know those people love you.
It's
Well,
like the
also-
Mormon church, because they tell you not to drink and they tell you to live, this
Yeah.
sober life. It'll be
Yeah.
better for you. And you guys are doing the same thing.
yeah.
But it's
You
your
know,
choice.
It is.
That's the
But
It
it's
is
your
my
choice, yeah.
Definitely.
It's funny the similarities
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I've actually thought about that myself.
Yeah, it just looks different.
Yeah.
And
Adam's-
it resonates with you more.
Adam's doing something really special at
Dude,
Elevated.
yeah.
He's created some magic in there
It
because
is.
the community that you guys have, I miss that. Like, I love Henzo's. Henzo's is cool. I don't have that level of community where I walk in and everybody's like, "Oh my God, what's up?"
Yeah.
And I'm dapping everybody up, having a great time. Like, there is something special in that gym. He's done a great job cultivating it. And it's fighters like you and Keegan and having Jordan in there. Like, you have this crazy blend of talent and drive and dedication.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah, I've seen Adam's vision since the beginning. Like we used to, like me and Adam used to talk for hours after training sessions like that. Adam is another person in my life that I'm extremely thankful for. He's a great mentor to me. He's helped me out so much with advice, from fighting to relationships to just how to live to get to where you want to be. And he used to always tell me, he's like, this gym is going to, it's going to grow. Like I have something in mind, and like now, like seeing it actually happen, I'm like, yeah, I saw it from the beginning. I didn't have a doubt that this would be happening. And it's like we're only at the beginning stages still. Like these kids are starting to train very young, and these kids are savages, dude. Like I help coach them. I'm like, dude, these kids are going to be lethal weapons by the time they're like 16 years old. It's a scary thought.
It's freaky. These kids are like 8, 9. I don't know how old they are. They're young.
Yeah, like
and they're so technical.
Wow.
so technical.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very
And scary.
It is
but
very
it's-
scary.
Yeah.
You're like,
But I
Down
feel
for
like
them. They're fine.
Truckie's being put on the map a little bit.
yeah,
that
no,
gym.
definitely, and that's why like, I don't know, a lot of people to this day they're like, oh, dude, why don't you train in Reno? Like, you live in Reno. I'm like, dude, my gym is in Truckee. Those are my people. Like
I understand why.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want Truckee to be on the map. Honestly, there's never been a fighter from Truckee. Like
Yet.
there's never been exactly yet. There's never been a pro. There's been a lot of pro snowboarders and skiers and stuff, mountain bike or whatever, But there's never been an MMA fighter from Truckee. It's such a weird place to like just.
Is that your
start
dream?
training. Yeah, I would love to be like, yo, I'm this badass from Truckee, and I'm here to take what you want. Like,
I'm here to take what
Yeah.
you want.
Take your
I'm
soul.
gonna take your soul, exactly. Like, fucking,
That's so awesome.
like there's a lot of like just hidden savages out there too. Like we have Joe, who's oh my God, Joe is a crazy motherfucker. Like I love Joe. Like he's awesome, but that dude's crazy. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of a bar fight with him. Like honestly,
gangster.
he's a gangster. No, he's a real G. Like he would go straight to just breaking your arm so quickly. And then we have Jay. Jay was a very savage fighter. He fought bare knuckle. Like bare knuckle Muay Thai basically, but with
wow.
with headbutts though.
Oh.
Yeah,
And it makes a lot of sense.
and it makes a lot of sense. If you meet Jay, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's a very interesting guy. Like he has an intense energy around him. Like
Yeah.
very intense.
No bullshit.
No bullshit. No, not at all. He'll tell you straight up like what you're doing wrong. He's like, okay, you're fucking stupid. Like
Yeah.
the other-
Why are you doing that?
Yeah, the other day, like I was in his class and he was like, "Dude, are you on drugs?" Because I was just like lost. Like I don't know why. Like sometimes,
Just one of those days.
yeah, just one of those days. And then I was just like in my head, I was like, "Dude, I'm sober. I don't
Yeah.
do that." But like just for you to say that to me, I was
Yeah,
like,
he's
"Come
very
on."
blunt.
Yeah, very blunt. We have Remy, this guy. He's Lithuanian,
Yeah.
and he's just. He has like some dark magic jujitsu, like some of the stuff that he teaches him,
Just
like
some of the dirty shit.
the
Yeah.
dirty,
It's just
like
this is legal, but man, doesn't feel like it.
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, he's
Got good submissions.
yeah, and we have countless other black belts. We have Mark and Kelly that started the whole thing. Keegan's parents. Like I remember my first jiu-jitsu class with Kelly, and she's very technical. Like she's very good at teaching and getting her knowledge through to people. She's really good with the kids, really good with women, like a woman that want to start training jiu-jitsu. She's awesome with them.
Yeah.
And then Mark is a savage himself too.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have so many people.
No, that gym, it seems very special. Like even just when I went to some of your tournaments and, your coaches are showing up for you, like everyone's just, very supportive in there. It seems like a family unit. When you talk about some of the fighters and even just what I saw you go through, like you're taking some physical, you're taking some physical punches, some beatings, like you're putting it on the other person. How do you take care of yourself? Like, how do you make sure that you're sane and that your brain's okay and that your physical body is okay? Because I literally am like, I would get pummeled, I would get crumpled up, and I just lay there.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I've never been injured in my life, because I have had. My eye right now is like.
Yeah, I saw that.
I got poked on Monday, and it hurt a lot. That was the first time an eye poke dropped me to the ground. Like I was just like,
Well, yeah, they got you good. I can see ruptured a bunch of blood vessels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your? How do you take care of yourself?
I should be doing a lot more for recovery. I think recovery is a big step in how you perform too.
Yeah.
I do like getting body work done. I wish I could get it done more frequently, but it is pretty expensive to be doing all the time. Sensory deprivation is a big thing that I really like too.
Where do you go for that?
Healing One. I haven't been there in a while. I'm actually going to hit up Jay, the crazy motherfucker, because he has one in his house. He has a tank in his house, and I love doing that for the mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it helps, helps release some stress throughout your body too. Like if you have like a lot of tension in your spine and just throughout your body, it just loosens you up because you're just sitting in a pool of water.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, I've heard really good things about that too.
Oh, it is. I think you guys should definitely try it.
There's one around the corner. It's right next to Henzo's, or it's like down the street from
Henzo's. It's so cool because I think it's like Epsom salt and some other things in there, and it like keeps the water buoyant, so you don't have to do anything to float. You don't have to put any effort into it, and the water is actually at like a ambient temperature of like your skin. I guess that's what I've heard at least. So it's like it feels like it basically like simulates how you felt in the womb, which is very trippy for your head. Like I've had some experience, like almost like psychedelic experiences being in the sensory deprivation tanks.
Wow.
Like I've seen a lot of things, and like it's helped me like with my path of fighting a lot. Like before I went to Thailand, actually, I remember being in the tank, and then I was just like thinking about being out there before I was even out there. And I made it happen, and then when I actually was in Thailand, I was like, well, I've been here before. Like, it was weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was very weird.
Like,
yeah.
How much of the visualization do you use like that for fighting, for what you want to do in life?
I do a lot. I mean, like, even when I'm sleeping sometimes, like, I'll have dreams of, like, fighting in front of thousands of people. I'll wake up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I thought that was real for a second. Like, you get like that high in your sleep, and you're like, your hands getting raised or something. Yeah, the crowd's like roaring.
And you're like in your sleep waking up.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm just asleep. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything for that.
Rock hard.
Yeah. Sometimes, testosterone is pumping sometimes. But yeah, the sensory deprivation is so cool. I can't wait to be in Thailand because there's a place on the street that I will be staying at. And honestly, that's a really cool thing, like, about where I'm training at is like, it's called Fitness Street. It's like, I think in Thai, it's like Soy Tayat or something like that. I don't know if I said that right. Don't crucify me.
It's okay.
Yeah, don't crucify me if I said that wrong. Any Thai people out there that might be watching.
It's going to be a bunch of broken English in the comments.
Yeah. But there's a place on that street that does sensory deprivation for really cheap. So this next time I want to do that at least once a week.
Yeah.
Being in that tank. But there's gyms, like there's CrossFit gyms, fighting gyms all across the street, and it's just really health based. Like they have a lot of healthy food, protein shakes, like all these stands for protein, all these recovery things.
Do you have like a routine for nutrition?
Like,
do you eat certain foods like before a fight? Like, are there?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to not be putting. I mean, yeah, sometimes I'm pretty not the best disciplined with my food and diet. That's like something I think that's one of the last things that I really need to get ahead on.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely feel a difference when I'm eating healthy, eating clean, compared to when I'm just eating
Garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or eating garbage. Yeah, you know, like your energy levels are just not the same. There was a point where like last year, 2 years ago, like I was actually we had this this dietitian, and he was having us like weigh our food, like me and Keegan weigh our food, like we had like food scales.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
just
probably pretty strict.
yeah, it was very strict, and but I never felt so good while cutting weight in my life.
Yeah,
Too bad I got
starving yourself.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, it's just starving yourself is horrible for you. But too bad I got injured right before I was supposed to fight. When we were working with that guy, we haven't worked with him since. He's a really cool dude. He's a bodybuilder himself, so he knows a lot about that world.
Would you recommend to someone like to get on a diet of some kind that works for them for fighting? Like,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like whatever healthy foods that helps fuel you throughout the day, you should definitely be eating, whether that's fruit or high protein. Like, I don't know. Like, you should definitely be watching how you eat if you want to perform at a high level.
yeah.
Not to say that I'm the best at it, you know, like sometimes I'm
No, that's
eating,
okay.
like,
I don't
yeah.
think everyone's perfect. I think you go through like the motions
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
very hard to like, especially here when I'm out in Thailand. It's pretty easy to eat healthy out there. Actually, like
I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah,
They have
like
a
you-
bunch of food stands and like pop-ups next to you.
yeah, and it's very. I mean, everything's like less processed. You know, like they do have all these chips and candy and all the nasty stuff, but that's okay every once in a while. Like
Totally.
sometimes you have to indulge a little bit.
Yeah.
But they have like they literally have fighter meals out there. Like they
Like
have
it's already pre-made.
yeah, for fighters.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's in it?
They'll do like chicken, rice, broccoli, like just healthy things, you know. A lot of greens. I remember like some like the fish bowls I was eating. It was almost like a poke bowl,
Yeah.
but they would have like all these like different grains and fish and like seaweed. Like it was just very, and like when I ate that and I went and trained, I was like, oh, I feel
Like just
You're
very
light.
clean.
Yeah,
like
very
high
clean.
energy
Yeah.
after. Yeah. I mean, that's how we feel when we are stricter with our diet, but obviously like we're not perfect either. Like
I had
we
cookie dough and ice cream this week, so
dude, that's
Yeah,
fine. That's
exactly.
completely
So
fine,
it's-
dude.
I'm not gonna be on my high horse.
Dude, they brought like Little Caesars into work the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should not be eating this like the week before competition. But I was just like, why did they bring Little Caesars? I mean, I wish it was better quality pizza, but even though I put down like I don't know how many pieces, and I was just like, oh, I felt like shit. I
carb
had to-
load.
Yeah, I had to go train later too, and I was like, oh, why
Just feel
did I do-
heavy.
Yeah, why did I do
gluttonous.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, disgusting. All the grease, like just like
Totally.
sits in your stomach. Yeah, it's gross.
So
It's nasty.
when you cut weight, you finally make it to fight day, you finish your fight, what's your go-to meal after? Because now you can eat. You can eat whatever the fuck you want.
I don't.
right?
I stay away from grease. After my first fight, I ate like a fat pastrami sandwich. Like it was massive, and I got into the cage, and I was like, ugh. I still won, but it was like terrible, like the way I felt. Now I really like. I don't know. This might sound like a little white girlish of me to say, but I really like the acai bowls and stuff. Like super fruits.
yeah.
Super fruits are so good. Like the day of the fight. Like I had one before my last fight. Just like packed with honey and all this other stuff. And it's like a dessert too, and you know it's not like the worst thing to be eating too. So it's like. Yeah.
I love acai bowls. I make them like as dessert before bed sometimes.
Yeah. They're so good.
Yeah.
I love them. But yeah, definitely staying away from grease and definitely want to have like some carbs in you, and then some meat, like some high protein, is very good. Yeah, I like to just. I mean, my main thing is just like staying away from greasy, fatty things.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, after the fight, I will pig out though. Like I'll eat like a whole pizza to myself, probably.
That's what I was
but-
thinking because you've
yeah.
been working so fucking hard.
Yeah, like you
So
deserve
dedicated.
you
are-
that little greasy pizza after, or whatever, like fat steak. I mean,
Totally.
cheese. Yeah,
Making me hungry.
yeah. I'm hungry now too.
I know, it's like we gotta go get lunch after this. I feel like, at your age, you are someone that's very convicted in like your beliefs and what you're doing with your life. Like you're on this path.
Yeah.
I feel like not a lot of people your age can say that they're in that same mindset about anything.
Or our age, to be
Or
honest.
yeah, or our age. Like I think a lot of people can maybe feel lost. So just knowing like with what you're doing, the mindset that you're in with your life, do you have any advice for people that may feel like they're struggling right now, just finding their direction?
I mean, you're going to have to try a lot of different things out, you know? Like, you can't just, like, expect to try something out for the first time and just fall in love with it and indulge with it completely. You have to... I feel like most people know what their interests are, whether it's, like, a physical thing or a mental thing. I feel like you just have to keep trying these things, and maybe at first you don't like it, and then over a period of time you end up just loving it. I was lost for a very long time, and then I started training. I was like, yeah, this is for me, and it just like completely changed my life. I recommend that everybody should do something physical, though. Honestly, like, I think everybody needs a physical outlet, and then everybody also needs a mental outlet, like something that they're also very into. Like, I love to sing, honestly. Like, that's like my like.
Really?
Yeah, I love singing. Like, I honestly, like, I will. Like when after training, I will just put on songs I love to sing, and I just sing my whole way home because I drive like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I just sing the whole time. I'm not kidding. Like I was in choir for like 5 years, and it's something I've always been interested in. Not too many people know about me, but it's like,
Wait, that's
Yeah, I
amazing.
had no idea
Yeah.
about that.
Wait,
What's your
I love
style?
that.
Like, what do you like to sing?
dude, I love singing like R&B. Fucking, I just, you know, it's weird. I like singing some country songs too because
I can see that.
yeah, like I like
Yeah, I
singing.
can see
Yeah, I like singing some country songs, even though I'm not like the most country person out there. I just
Yeah.
like I love like making my voice deep, like for the, yeah, I love that.
Wait,
sometimes
that is so fun.
Sometimes I rap. I'm not the best rapper though. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm definitely a better singer than rapper. I like what
Sorry.
I like singing soft stuff though. I'm not going to lie. Like softer things, like softer music. You know,
Like Killing Me Softly.
killing me.
What is your go-to song? Like if you were like on your way home from this podcast, you're going to go home. What are you putting on?
I don't know. I really like singing some Nirvana. Like some, yeah, I do like Nirvana a lot. I like
Okay.
to sing. Shit. Oh, that's hard. I'm like so just all over the place. I like some like indie rock and.
Okay, here's a better question. What would you sing at karaoke?
At karaoke? Can I go
You're
through
at
my
West
playlist
Second.
really quick?
Yeah,
Is
you
that
can
cool?
go through your
Is that cool?
playlist.
You're at.
What
I'm
is-
gonna set the stage for you. Okay, you're at West Second. You're still sober. You've got a couple girls
You're
around.
still sober.
Still
I'm
sober.
gonna be clear about that. You're still sober. You're at West Second Street. There's some cute girls in a booth, and you're like, all right, I have to woo them. I got to impress them with my singing.
Oh, definitely some Arctic Monkeys. 120%. Some Arctic Monkeys.
Really?
Yeah, like why'd you only come when you're high, or I want to be yours. Probably I want to be yours. That would definitely be like, I mean, Arctic
Did you make eye
Monkeys is sick.
contact when you're doing it?
Yeah,
I'll
would you?
just I'll stare at them so deeply. And
You might scare them off.
a lot of people get scared of my. Yeah, that's why I don't. Sometimes, like, I love making eye contact with people, but sometimes people get really intimidated. I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't like look into their eyes. I don't know what it is. Like, people get like very intimidated. I'm like, dude, it's not. I'm not like that monster. You know, like, I'm actually
Yeah.
a pretty sweet person. And I think like that singing act like brings out the other side of me. Like I have fighting, which is like very vicious and
Yeah.
malicious, whatever. Very manly, honestly. Like getting into a cage with your fucking trunks on and you're shirtless and you're just going at it with it. Very manly.
Yes, yeah.
And then
for
singing
sure.
is like my soft side. you know,
Yeah.
like it's a mixture of both worlds.
You're embracing both the masculine and feminine.
And
maybe.
feminine, yes, exactly. And I feel like men need that. Honestly, I think all men need that. Like you can't just be like all like macho man all the time. You have to have that softer side of you, that yin and yang within you. I've always thought like when fighting takes off, I might actually get into like putting my music out there or something like that, like writing things down, because like it's weird. Like sometimes I'll be listening to a song like and there'll be like a beat, and then I'll just make up my own lyrics while there's already like the song was already made, but I'll just
Yeah.
make up my own lyrics in my head, and I start singing. It's like, you know what? That doesn't sound that bad. What the hell? Like
Sweet. Man.
That's so awesome.
yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, exactly. I was very scared to sing in front of people for the longest time too. I remember like being in choir, and I was just like, just like humming, you know. And
Yeah.
then one day my teacher, shout out to Miss Wilson. I don't know if she'll listen to this. She has me on Instagram, so maybe she might. But
You can send it to her.
yeah, she forced me to get up in front of my class and just hit a solo, and I shocked everybody. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, the whole class was like, what? Like,
No way.
deer in the headlights all around the room. They're like,
no one was expecting.
yeah,
that.
nobody was expecting me to sing like that. And then after that, I was like, what the? Like, I guess I can actually sing, you know? Like, I guess I have a thing for this. And she gave me the solo, like, right off the bat. Like, I did it for a grade. She told me I was going to fail the choir class if I didn't do it. And then she was like, oh, well, there's your solo. And then I was like, okay, now I have to sing this in front of the whole school, in front of my parents, in front of everybody. I was like, okay.
And like no one knows the side of you.
And it was like, it was My Girl by the Temptations, you know? Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow, yeah, that's awesome.
That was my first ever solo. And then after that, people would actually ask me to not audition for solos because they knew that
They wanted it?
Yeah, if they wanted it, they're like, bro, can you not do that one? And I was like, okay, yeah, fine. I'm not gonna just take up everything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
love-
cool.
Yeah, I love singing.
I think you need to like serenade a girl, and that
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
if you want a
Don't be
girlfriend,
walking down the street and
You're
start
like,
serenading.
first date, you're just fucking
Yeah.
singing my heart out. Yeah.
Like, so anyways, here's Wonderwall.
That's so funny. Well, I didn't know
And
that
poetry
side of
too.
you.
I'm kind of into poetry as well. I have some stuff on my phone like that's just written down. I mean,
Yeah.
I just get like very deep. Like I'm a very emotional dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm pretty in tune with my emotions.
Got a lot of feelings in there.
Got a lot of feelings in there, even though it doesn't show when I'm going out there and fighting people. You know.
Yeah.
Like, on the inside, I'm pretty damn emotional. I feel a lot, but
Yeah, I think with fighters, like you have to have that passion and emotion, like that
yeah,
deep emotion.
You do.
And so it's like I'm surprised to hear you talk about like singing and poetry, but then when I look at it, I'm like fighting is such a passion. Like
And
it's
it's
just
an
such a it's an
It is an
art,
art,
it's a
yeah.
passion. Like I'm surprised to hear you say that, but now I'm like not surprised to hear that you
Makes
have
sense.
this side of you.
Mhm.
It looks different. It's just embracing that masculine and feminine
Yeah.
side, which is so cool. Do you think a lot of people at the gym know this side of you, or do you
Well,
think they'll
actually,
listen
no.
to
They're
this?
probably gonna like, if they watch this, they're probably gonna be like, "What the hell, dude?"
Sing, boy,
You're a
sing.
little
I was
soft.
just
You're a
gonna
little
start
soft.
making you jam.
I mean, some people know that.
Yeah.
Know that I like to sing and stuff, but no, for the most part, they just see me as a fighter. They see me
Yeah.
as like this, like tough fucking 21-year-old, you know, and
Yeah.
they don't see the other side of me. Not too many people do actually. Like they always have this impression of me. They're like, oh, he's just a fighter. He just likes to beat people up.
Right.
But then I don't know. I'm very.
And then you start serenading them.
Yeah, exactly. They sing like the softest song of all time. And they're
Right.
like, whoa, where did that come from?
Put somebody
Yeah.
to sleep and wake them up with a nice lullaby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So I want to switch gears a little bit. You're 21. The world is wild. How do you navigate what
Like just
life right now?
Just
'Cause
life.
it's- other 21-year-olds are on different paths. You pick.
I've actually been out with people that are drinking and stuff. Like I've been to the bars with people and just not had a single drink the whole time. Like just like keeping my self-control. I had a very big problem with self-control for a long time. I would always just like, oh, you want to try this? I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, it's just. I honestly like sometimes I like to test my self-control a little bit. I like to be like, I don't know, just different from everybody else around me. Like if I've been to the bars with some of my friends because they're like, oh, we want to hang out. Like my buddies were back from the Marines last month, and they, of course, Marines,
They go hard.
they go hard in the paint, like so hard. Like, dude, I was watching my friends just chug and chug and chug. I'm like, bro, you guys are nuts. But they respect that about me that I don't drink, so they wouldn't be like, oh, dude, you want to? I mean, a couple times they messed up and like, hey, you want something? I'm like, bro, like I don't drink. But it's like I like feeling different than other people, honestly. Like I like being on my own certain path because I'm like I feel like a lot of us are just molded into the same exact area. Like we're always going out. We're always like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Having fun is like, I feel like it should be part of your life. You know, like you should be able to do that. But I just feel like I can have fun in other ways. Like I don't need to be drinking all the time or using drugs all the time to have fun. Like I can go out in nature, and that's like,
Yeah.
I love that. I love just being out in nature and just like feeling everything, feeling myself, and being in that peace. But yeah, sometimes it can be hard navigating through, like especially when you see all these people doing things, and just like I don't know, you have to really, like I talked about being like your own personal fan earlier, and it's like you have to motivate yourself to not be like everybody else. You have, like, I don't know, you have to be different to be great. I think every great mind out there was a lot different. Everybody thinks they're crazy, you know. Like everybody at first, they're like, "Oh, this person is crazy." Like look at like Nikola Tesla. Everybody's like, "That guy's a nut job."
Yeah.
And then they found out he's like, "Oh, this guy's like one of the most intelligent people to ever walk the earth." You know.
Totally.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
And he's in his own cloth too. He's
Yeah.
completely different than
Yeah.
everyone else.
Psycho. He was psycho, but it's like, I don't know. Vincent Van Gogh, one of the best artists of all time. Everybody thought he was insane because he was a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't know. Conor McGregor talked about that. Like, you do have to be a little bit crazy to be great at something, and I definitely take that like as in part of my life. Like, I don't know, I just don't want to be like everybody else, and that's how I live my life. Like, I just like keep myself away from everything. Like, even when I'm surrounded by it, I can just be by myself basically. I've always been okay with being alone too. Like, honestly, I was in a relationship for like 3 years actually, which is a long time for somebody my age. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like that was like a legit relationship. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we were dating, but like we lived together, everything like that. And afterwards, I was very lonely. And I just had to be okay with that. I had to process everything. She moved on very quickly. I mean, I don't have any like hate towards her, even though it wasn't the best relationship. But
it was hard. Like you didn't move on very
no,
quickly.
not at all. Not at all. It took me so long to like just process everything and just be okay with being by myself, because I got so used to, I don't know, you get used to being around somebody, you know? Like, you get used to that companionship and everything else.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you guys are awesome though. Like, you guys together, awesome.
Oh,
like,
thank
like
you.
working together with it. This is sick.
I think we do a good job.
I know, it's awesome. I've always thought that about you guys actually too, because I'm never like
Oh, that's
like we were
sweet.
talking about that earlier, like we've never met, but like I've always seen like on social media and stuff, like you guys like having a good time. Like, dang, that's what you should want in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, like you should want a best friend, you know, like that's how it should be. Like, I don't know, I think a lot of people have like the misconception of like, oh, I need the hottest fucking girl out there, and then that's all they care about. You know, they don't care about like having
Companionship.
and you need that in a relationship. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like,
Well,
you
like that person that you're around all the time.
yeah, like you need to be attracted to them physically, like to some extent, of course you do. But that's not like the only thing, you know. Like, there's so
That
much
matters,
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Totally.
there's so much more to people, and a lot of people are just like, yeah, I want that dime piece that has no personality. It's like, yeah, but how happy you're gonna be when you're with her, you know?
Yeah, what do you guys talk about when you're alone at that point?
Yeah, like Versace and Gucci. Oh, I got my new bags. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Are you gonna die with that? No. So
Yeah, totally. I actually have one last question, if that's okay.
that's fine.
Okay. We had our last guest, Brad Farmer. I don't know if you know Brad Farmer at all.
Do not.
Okay, that's okay. So Brad Farmer left a question for you. It's a 2-part question. So you answer his question, and then you give the question to the next guest.
Okay, that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So he asked you, and he didn't know it was going to be you. He just knew that he wanted to ask this question for the next guest. What does your life look like in 10 years? Your whole entire life. What does your life
Path
look like
that you're on right now.
in 10 years?
I think 10 years from now, I'm fighting professionally, coaching at a high level, especially because I'm getting into that right now. I feel like 10 years under my belt will help me be a pretty good coach. I mean, you know, you never know what's going to happen in life, but I hope to have a family at that point. Like,
Yeah.
30, I'll be 31, so I hope to have a little family. I mean, I definitely want kids at some point. But I don't want to bring them into a world if I'm not ready for it, you know? Like,
Totally.
I'm not.
Trust me, I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. You want to give them a good life. You want to give them the best life possible.
Yeah.
And be the best example possible. I think I'm still sober 10 years from now, just because I don't see myself going back and just, redoing that process, because I really don't understand why I would do that. I don't know. Might be partly open, or like part of a gym that it's mine. Like, I like partial ownership or something. Definitely still in the martial arts scene for sure, fighting scene, fighting professionally, coaching, maybe owning a gym. Definitely still traveling. I love traveling. I've never been to Europe, so hopefully I'm still going out and seeing the world, because that's like something I wanted to do since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like since I was young, I was like, I need to go see the world. And it took me a long time to just send it. And now I'm just like, I'm so okay with it. Like I'm so okay. Like I went by myself the first time, which is crazy.
That's bold to do.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, especially because I bought the plane ticket 3 weeks before I left. Like I just packed up everything and just left for 2 months. Yeah, definitely traveling.
It's a big question because it's hard to encapsulate like what
It's hard. It is hard. It's something I think about a lot, actually, though. Like I do think about, like, I think it's good to live in the present, but you have to think about where you're going to be in the future at the same time. You have to envision where you're going to be.
His idea behind the question, and definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but he was saying his life has not been predictable at all. Like he would have never imagined that he owns a coffee shop and would have worked in marketing and builds. He was the marketing director for Arbor snowboards. So he was like
cool again.
Yeah, basically, making him cool again. So he's like, I just never predicted my life to go the way that it went. And he said, I think if you're living a life of predictability, then it should be easy to answer. But if you're not, then it should be hard.
Fighting is very unpredictable, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the fight itself is unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. Like I don't know. Like this sucks to say, but like who knows if I'm going to be able to fight in 10 years, like what if I have like a career-ending injury or something like that. I really hope that does not happen. I'm not going to put that into the world. But it's just
really things that you think about.
Yeah. I want to be at a point that I can just help so many people, though. Like that is like one of my biggest goals within fighting, is to be like on a stage and people are listening to me, and I'm able to get through to people and just give them hope. Like what I want to do right now is like, that's another dream I had when I was a kid, is like I want, like, it's so weird to be like 6 years old and like wanting to help the world. Like it's a very different mindset, like I was like 6 years old and I'm like, okay, I want to help people when I'm older. Like I want to be able to get through to people and portray my messages out. It
seems like you're finding your why at a very young age.
And
which is pretty badass.
Life is a beautiful thing if you allow it to be. I think it's like you're always going to get shit on at some points. But as long as you just keep living and you're authentic, I think that's a huge thing. Like you have to be authentic. Like otherwise you're not going to be happy. You have to be yourself. And that's just what it comes down to.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well then, final question for you. What would you like to ask the next guest?
What was the best part of this podcast for you? Which question?
Oh, I like that.
That's fun. I like that.
Hopefully they listen.
They're like, shit.
And they're like, I didn't listen.
At the end they're just gonna be like, what? What? I don't even remember what we were talking about.
That'd be hella funny. I like it.
That would,
Okay. Wait. Can you rephrase that? Are you saying what was the best part of this episode, or the one that we're gonna do with that person?
Oh, the one that they're actually going to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, that would be
And I was like, hopefully they listen.
Watch.
Okay, no, that totally makes sense. No, I like that. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Shayne. Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for having me on. Like
this was so fun.
This was sick.
To meet you. Yeah. Like literally you talking about singing and poetry and like just your outlook on relationships in the world right now. Like I just think it's so special and rare. Like I really do think that you're on your path. I can feel it. And it's inspiring. So I'm just so happy that you came on. Thank you.
Wanna do this again when you get back from Thailand?
Oh, yeah. Yes, 100%. I'll definitely have some stories to tell when I come back. So
fuck yeah, dude.
And then Crow's Nest Ranch will be opening up by the time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah?
July.
Okay, perfect. Maybe both him
I was going to say Jordan. Yeah, me and Jordan at the same time.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it'd be so fun.
I think we would have an entertaining episode. Like
100%.
Yeah, we're both like pretty much out there. I mean,
pretty much.
Like, we're out of the box, and me and Jordan we're we get along pretty well, so that would be sick. That
Yeah.
would be
Let's do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would. Yeah,
That
we
would
should
be
plan
super
on that.
fun.
That would
Okay.
that'd be awesome.
Cool.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you,
Well,
Shayne.
thanks, Shayne.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too. Bro.
Bye, everybody.
Train with you again, dude. Peace out.